Hey, how's it going? Sorry, that felt like it was really loud. Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna read some cards. So I pulled three. One from the Animal Spirit. I don't know why I can't remember this. Wild Unknown Spirit Animal deck. And I pulled the Nightingale. So the Nightingale, the actual bird, it's in the name. It sings at night. It's like a nocturnal. I probably should have looked at this before I started talking, but I don't know what their nocturnal habits are. I know they sing at night. They probably, if they're up, I'm just speculating here, but if they're up, they're probably doing normal bird stuff, getting food. And I don't know what bird business is. I know they eat and they build nests, but that's only going to take up so much of their lifetime. But, you know, bird business, they get up to it. What the book had to say about it, though, hold on, I guess I'm not ready to talk about what the book has to say yet. They're actually kind of brave, because if they're nocturnal birds usually go to sleep at like sundown, and they're tucked away in their little bird nooks and crannies and holes, or, you know, wherever their nest is. And so if you're out at night when it's dark, well, you know what lurks in the dark is predators and scary stuff. I mean, look at this guy. It's just a little, I'm sure this bird is like about as big as my, oh, put the card in front of it, as big as my hand, you know, like, and maybe smaller even, but it's out at night when, like, pretty much everything else is sleeping except things hunting for something to eat, and this little bird's out there singing and making a little noise, maybe a beautiful noise, but it's still attracting the presence of the things that lurk in the dark, right? So, I mean, I figure it's something that it's like, it has to do it. It's like, it's biological imperative to sing at night. Well, I wonder what evolution made that happen. Like, all the other birds are like, we're going to bed, the sun's going down, this guy's all, I'm gonna rock and roll all night, party every day. Pretty much anything that steps out at night is kind of taking a risk. But you see right above the bird's head, it's almost like it's the light that comes out of the bird's mouth, but also it's like sort of behind it and suffusing its head. Like it came down to meet the bird singing, or the bird's head, and is like that white light from spirit of protection for this little bird out there in the middle of the night going, hello, I'm here and I'm singing, you know. But I think for people, it represents someone that gets out there and says things that could put you in danger, maybe. Could draw attention that you don't necessarily want. You don't know. Could go either way, good or bad. And that's pretty much what the book says. Let's see, if it's really long, I'm not going to read it. It's not really long. Fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates a need to open the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. When in balance, sings, speaks freely with kindness. Speaks freely with kindness. When out of balance, shy, lump in the throat. To bring in balance, music. Yeah, that tracks. And so the other card I pulled, well, actually, I guess I was supposed to pull this card because I sure shuffled and shuffled, but I pulled it yesterday. The Will of the Wisp card, and I don't know if you noticed if you watched yesterday's video, but I was having a little trouble kind of getting what I wanted out of it. Like, it was kind of giving me nothing but the 2D image. So today when I pulled it, I almost put it back, or I actually did put it back, and I was like, if you just went through all that shuffling and you still got it again, you were probably meant to have it. So I pulled it back out. And then it gave me a little bit more today. And part of it was that I did notice this yesterday. I guess there's like a world right here, like the curve of an earth sort of thing. And it's bluish. And then like there's all this white business here at the top, like a pole, like the Arctic pole, rather, not Arctic. Arctic is the icy one at the top, I believe. And I mean, I feel like it's for everyone, the message, and I guess that's why there's like world down here. But there's also a fountain, and I totally noticed that yesterday, and I was like, well, I'm not sure what that's about. And to be honest, I'm still not sure, but what I did get was that because this comes around occasionally, like it's not always just there for the taking, it is something you want to take advantage of. And I feel like it came back today to say you did not properly take advantage of the opportunity of pulling this card. And I believe that the opportunity is yet for me to determine. And it got really personal. It wasn't supposed to be. But here I am. But since it's like coming back and going, pay attention. And it's not just me. I mean, there's this whole world here, remember, that it's giving this message to. But it's... I thought this was like a feathered headdress kind of thing yesterday. But what I think it is just the force of the Will of the Wisp spirit breaking through, I guess, the veil for you know, mud brains like me to see and go, oh, something's happening here I need to be paying attention to. And you know, maybe that's like the main message of it. I don't want to be confusing and just be all maybe like I'm guessing, because it's just kind of like spontaneously coming to me. But it's not a headdress and it's not decorative, but what it is just the force of this, like I said, the face of the spirit of the Will of the Wisp coming through. Because, and coming through twice, like with even more force, like it's kind of like broken apart like water, which also kind of tracks because of the blue everywhere. And maybe that's kind of how the veil is. Like, I don't know, like I haven't really thought of its consistency before. It could be like a actual drape, like a curtain. It could be rattan, or, you know what I mean? Like, I never thought of what it was made of, but maybe it's not made of any of those things I talked about. Maybe it's more of a liquid thing. And that's like a reverse, a reverse splash. I laughed because I just thought of reverse flash, which I don't even want to start mixing my silliness into this other stuff, but all of that, what I just said, like, made sense to me. It still makes sense to me right now. Like, I can envision the face popping through yesterday and then going back and going, I have to hit this harder, and coming back and making an even bigger splash to get the attention of, I'm just going to use me for an example, but really I mean like whomever across the world, whomever needs to hear it and figure it out. Like, what is the thing that is right there for the taking that I'm ignoring or not seeing? I can actually think of some situations happening in the world that they could be like good situations as we think of good, or bad ones as we think of bad, but either way, there's something to be had from the event. Maybe other than the motivation that drives us, because once we get on a track of things, we don't know necessarily like what benefits or pitfalls we're going to run into. Those are to be determined. Little excitement points along the way. Whee! So that's what I have to say about that card. The other card I pulled was number 48. Sky Dancers? Yeah, Sky Dancers. And Surrender. So looking at this, I thought a number of things. I thought, like, okay, about the bug itself. I feel like it's like in the midst of a bug's life, which are typically short, and so it looks like it's dancing with abandon there, and also it looks like it's playing chicken with the sun, but actually when I first looked at it, what I saw was a bug flying around the orange. So, okay, the orange sun, the sun orange. I don't think that's an actual bug either. I think that's a representation. It might be a real bug. I don't know. It does have a sort of human head on top of its thorax. Sort of little spot right there, that little oval, that could be a head. It's very feminine seeming, that's for sure. But so what I thought was, it's dancing with abandon, and it has surrendered. If it's a representation for a human, it has surrendered all of the human concerns, like the job, the relationship, the, you know, whatever, the chores, the obligations, whatever it is that's sort of weighty and kind of keeps us down. A bug has a limited, with a short life, they have a limited amount of time to do the things that they have to do, and they don't have to do the stuff we do. They just have to get born and stay alive, display, attract a mate, do any activities with the young. Not all bugs do. They kind of, some just like drop them and split, and like you're on your own, and you gotta let your instincts kick in, and good luck, hopefully nothing eats you. And so, I mean, even that, well, they can't let go of that. Like, they don't, I don't think the way we do. They certainly don't have our same concerns. But the dancing wildly, it's like you got a limited amount of time to do all of the stuff that your instincts are driving you to do. Another biological imperative. And oh, I guess I shouldn't say another, because you didn't hear that other time. Their biological imperative, they kind of can't not do it. But they got to do it in that short space of time. And then I think after you've done what you're meant to do as the bug, you surrender what's left of your life to, I don't know, dancing in ecstasy and falling towards the orange. And this one had a suggestion of a blue planet under it too, I remember. And I noticed it also has these other sort of flying bug people, maybe just bugs, but they're indistinct. They're like mist. They're almost see-through. Maybe they surrendered all the way, and that's just the after fume of those bugs, or the image they leave behind. Just, I guess, to represent that they were, because I feel like things happen so fast in the bug continuum, with the life and the death happening so fast. It just seems like it would rack up a lot of bug lives. So I also imagine with humans, like, that there are so many dead around us, and we just are like completely unaware, because we're not like bumping into something solid all the time, or they don't choose to do something to introduce their presence. And okay, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, I will read from the guidebook for Sky Dancers. Liberation from attachment. Surrender. When a Sky Dancer appears, she is inviting you to welcome the deepest power of the feminine into your life. You have already overanalyzed your situation to exhaustion. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom within your heart, no matter your gender, to guide you to success. If you have become earthbound, plotting and planning and praying for change, cease and desist. Break the habit of being yourself, of repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Stop being stupid. My own contribution there does not say stupid. Stop trying to figure it all out and stop overthinking it. Surrender. The Sky Dancers are heralding the arrival of a new relationship with yourself, in your work, or in your love life. Do not assume that this person or opportunity will rescue you. The only way to liberation is to kiss the ground goodbye and take flight, to rise above the fray and drama of the struggling, arguing mind. Dance in the sky and view the madness below. By simply witnessing the actors and the human comedy unfolding on the ground, you are transforming it. As you observe the drama, you unleash the power of the sacred feminine that allows for resolution. The Sky Dancers know the maps of between and the way to the holiest. The Sky Dancers know the maps of heaven and the way to the holiest and most sacred spaces on earth. They come to help you with your current life, and even more important, to guide you to the realization of your own divinity. I don't know about you, but I feel like that's very close to what I was saying. If we imagine ourselves as the bug and divest ourselves of all of our human concerns and dependencies that would free us to, well, if you unencumber yourself, we're not going to fly, but you definitely feel lighter. I mean, you could like go get some kind of flying machine, but just on our own, unless you want to like jump off a cliff and fly down, we don't fly good. But us as the bug with no encumbrances like that can be our like most free and purest self, because it's all instinct, and there's no social media, there's no scandal, there's no, you know, all of our stuff that, I'm not gonna say it's unimportant, because it's a lot of people's jobs and things like that, but and a lot of people pay attention to the stuff that comes as a result of those people doing those jobs, and I'm a big consumer. But really none of that stuff is like gonna keep me alive, you know, when the S hits the fan. It's gonna be all about instinct and what do I know how to do that's of value? What do I have that's gonna help me out in this situation? But it's up to us to figure out those opportunities, I guess you could call it. So I feel like that I should direct all of that to something, but it's just general. It's just general. Okay, thank you and good night.